So you've probably been hearing a ton about this government shutdown, right? It's all over the news. And if you're kind of scratching your head wondering what is actually going on, hey, you are not alone. Let's get right into it and break down what this all means.
And here we are. Today is day 31. 31 days. And this isn't just some number. We're talking about millions of paychecks, essential benefits, all just hanging in the balance. This has officially become one of the longest and, honestly, most impactful shutdowns we've seen in a long, long time.
Okay, so that's the big question, isn't it? Why? Why is the government shut down? Who is this actually hurting? And for goodness sake, how does this thing end? We're going to tackle all of that right now.
So before we can even get to the why, we got to start with the what. What even is a government shutdown? The best way to think about it, really, is like a family budget crisis. You know, when nobody can agree on how to spend the money, and suddenly the lights get turned off. It's kind of like that, but for the entire country.
And yeah, that's pretty much what's happening, just on a massive national scale. Congress couldn't agree on a budget, they failed to pass the funding bills, and so, well, huge parts of the federal government just have to shut down. They literally have to close their doors and send people home.
So let's put this on a timeline. This whole thing kicked off way back on October 1st when Congress missed its deadline. We're now, as we said, 31 days in, which already makes it the second longest shutdown in U.S. history. And get this, if it goes on for just 4 more days, it'll break the record. The longest shutdown ever.
But you know, breaking records here isn't something to be proud of. Because this isn't just about political games or history books. There's a very, very real human cost to this whole stalemate. We're talking about millions of regular Americans getting caught in the crossfire.
And just look at the ripple effect. This goes so far beyond just empty office buildings in D.C. You've got over 750,000 federal workers furloughed, no paycheck. And think about who these people are. Air traffic controllers, border agents, folks we count on for our safety are showing up to work without getting paid. On top of that, national parks are closed. Veterans can't get their disability benefits processed. Farmers are stuck, unable to get the loans they need. It's a mess. And this is probably the most urgent crisis of all. Tomorrow, that's not an exaggeration, food assistance benefits for 42 million people are set to run out. The clock is literally ticking.
So it's hitting individual families hard, but the damage doesn't stop there. The shutdown is dragging down the entire U.S. economy. We're talking about an estimated loss of anywhere from $7 to $14 billion. That is a staggering amount of money.
Okay, so with all this damage being done, you've got to be asking, why can't they just fix it? Why can't they just make a deal? Well, it all boils down to a really deep disagreement and some simple stubborn math in the U.S. Senate. And this chart really lays it all out. See, in the Senate, you have 53 Republicans and 47 Democrats. But here's the kicker. To pass a big funding bill like this, you don't need 51 votes, you need 60, a supermajority. And as you can see, neither side has it, so they have to work together. They're forced to negotiate. Except right now, they're just not.
So what's the actual fight about? Here it is, side by side. The Republicans are saying, hey, let's just pass a clean bill to fund the government. No strings attached. Let's get things open now and we can argue about everything else later. But the Democrats are digging in. They're saying, no way, we're not voting for anything until we get ironclad assurances that you won't gut healthcare subsidies and these critical food programs.
And with both sides completely dug in, the standoff is just escalating. And now President Trump has thrown something really dramatic into the mix, a controversial way to try and break this deadlock, something they call the nuclear option.
He put it out there on social media, saying it's time for Republicans to, in his words, play their Trump card and use the nuclear option to get rid of the filibuster. Okay, so what on earth is a filibuster?
The filibuster. That's the name of the rule we were just talking about. It's that magic 60-vote requirement. It's a very old Senate tradition, and its whole purpose is to force the party in power to work with the minority party, to find some kind of compromise on big, important laws. It's the entire reason they need 60 votes instead of a simple 51.
So the nuclear option is exactly what it sounds like. It's blowing up that rule. It would completely get rid of the filibuster for this kind of bill. And that would mean the majority party, right now the Republicans, could pass whatever they want with just their 51 votes, or in this case, 53. They call it nuclear for a reason. It would be a radical, game-changing move that would totally alter how the Senate works, probably forever.
So you've got the politics, the procedures, the nuclear option, all this Washington insider talk. But when you step back
and you remember the real human cost we just talked about, the missed paychecks, the food assistance running out, it makes some people ask a much harder, much darker question. What is the actual point of all this pain?
Someone who really captured this feeling was a pastor at a prayer service on Capitol Hill. They put it this way, and this quote really hits hard. "We are holding the food over the heads of poor people so that we can take away their health care. God help us when the cruelty is the point." Wow. As the fight over rules and power rages on in Washington, it really leaves us with that one final question. Who is actually paying the price for all of it?